Today's news, finance manager of UK-based Korean firm sacked after refusing to bow to boss and make him coffee?
A Korean-British woman by the name of Mi-Suk McDonald was recently fired, apparently, for not bowing to her Korean boss. That's the story, right?
That's the story. That's what she is taking to court and trying to get a settlement for anyways.
She had a Korean boss in England, so that's why she's able to sue the company. Because in Korea you can bow, or the boss can require you to bow, and there's nothing you can say about it. If they hire you, you gotta do whatever they say. There's no law against them requiring you to bow, but since bowing is not a requirement or a normal part of English etiquette, this whole thing's got me befuddled.
It's kind of befuddling. I have read this article so many times to try to make sense of it all. She's claiming that she got fired for not bowing and for not making coffee, and then she was told that that is what women employees do, is make coffee for the men. So she's filing for sexual harassment and discrimination, and she's managing to get quite the case built up.
These are things that you are allowed by law to do in England, but I don't think she would be able to file a lawsuit against a company in Korea for the same things, correct?
Yes, I think that's... I'm trying to make sense of what you're actually saying, and it's starting to get confusing.
Neither of us are lawyers, but as far as we both know, because we both were employed at multiple places in South Korea, bowing is just normal behavior.
Yeah, you walk in and you see your boss and you bow and you greet them. And, you know, if they ask you for coffee, you make them coffee. It's what you do.
This guy was a hard ass. There's a photo of him in the article. He looks like he's ready to just tear anybody's ass out. No, I'm serious. And I don't know about the before and the after. I worked at a hagwon in 2002. My first job ever in South Korea was at a hagwon, a private academy, where it's privately owned, but it's a school. It's not the type of thing we have in the United States. They have them all over South Korea. If you've taught English in South Korea, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This place was owned by a man who rarely showed up, but his wife ran the whole thing, but it was his business. And occasionally, when he did show up, he would go straight into his office and sleep on the desk. Like, he would just be sleeping. And the reason why we knew this wasn't because the door was open, because they would shut the door, but on the back side of the office was a little window, and on our way into the teacher's offices, you'd pass by this window and you could see in. They eventually had to put a curtain up so we couldn't see the guy sleeping, because he literally would come in, sleep. He did nothing. He collected the money, and he totally made his wife run everything. I bring this whole hagwon thing up because what we were required to do at the end of the day, if they were there, and this was usually to his wife, but occasionally he would show up at the end of the day when he wasn't sleeping because they were getting ready to have dinner, and we had to go and say, "안녕하세요," and that was it. You had to go and bow and say goodbye, and then you could leave. So you had to bow and say goodbye. You'd go in front of the door and bow and then go. I remember I started getting in trouble because I didn't know Korean very well my first few weeks, and you learn that it's 안녕하세요 or 안녕. You say 안녕 to say goodbye or hello. It's the same word. But you can't say 안녕 to the older man.
No,
so I was saying 안녕, and I go out.
Oh, my.
I never told you that?
No.
Like 3 or 4 days in a row went by, and then my supervisor had to pull me aside and be like, "Richard, you can't say 안녕 to him."
Oh, goodness.
He must have been freaking pissed at me.
I'm sure he was. You were talking to him like he was a little kid.
Going to Korea is such a mindfuck in a way if you don't. Like, now you guys got the internet, you can watch tons of these videos, you can watch Miguk Saram, you can watch any video about Korea. You can learn so much before you go there. In 2002, guess what? It was diddly squat on the internet. You had to pull out an encyclopedia, and all you were getting was a couple of historical facts. You had no idea what you're getting yourself into. I was there so long ago when it was such a crazy, unusual thing for a Westerner to go there. You had so many things thrown at you so quickly. I mean, I was just messing up left and right. Day after day, I was making tons of mistakes.
And I'm sure you learned a lot from those mistakes.
Back to the article.
In reading this article at length, extensively, and rereading it, there were several things that actually stood out to me. The first thing being that it probably wasn't the bowing that got her fired. In 2014, she was an assistant finance manager, and then she was promoted to finance manager, where she had a great pay raise, and she was the only bilingual speaker, and they did note that at that point in time, she bowed at the beginning and the end of the day, and she gave them coffee and tea, and it kind of shocked people that she was doing that because they didn't expect her to do that. It wasn't written in the contract that she signed that she had to do that, but she knew enough about Korean culture because her mother was Korean that she automatically did that.
And she had lived over there for a number of years when she was a child.
Yes, and she, because of all of this, she got bonuses when the rest of the company did not get bonuses. However, in February of 2015, there was a new financial manager who came and took her job. An older Korean woman that she was forced to show respect to, or not forced, but suggested, recommended that she show respect to, who was another bilingual speaker, and I think she was kind of bitter because she was transferred to human resources, which she had no experience prior in.
Basically a demotion.
9 days later, there was a huge meeting between her and the different higher level staff managers, and it was about her new duties, and she felt uncomfortable, and she gave them a grievance letter with a solicitor, which means she got a lawyer involved, and she filed a grievance letter against the company because she was unhappy with her new duties. So she went to bow to her boss later on that evening. He was upset, so she quit bowing to him, and she quit doing her normal duties like that she was doing before, like making coffee, and she was generally upset.
She said that she quit bowing because she didn't want to go and see him anymore because she already knew that he was pissed off at her, so she wouldn't even go into, like the way that I had to go and say goodbye. She had the same type of thing. That's why I told that story. She had to go into his office, say goodbye, bow, and go, and she was like, I'm not going to see him anymore because he's upset with me. I'm just going to leave. That's why she didn't bow. It wasn't that she wasn't going to bow anymore. She didn't want to see him.
Yep. And so she did leave work because she claimed that she was stressed.
Okay.
And so because of this, when the company had to downsize, she got cut. She got cut because she filed a grievance letter and she was unhappy with her job and she was leaving because she was stressed and she didn't want to do her duties.
Would you bow to your boss, man, ho?
He just kicked me.
Comments down below. What's your reaction to hearing Misuk McDonald getting fired for not bowing to her boss?
Do you think that her boss was right to fire her for being a bad employee who didn't want to do her job? Or do you think that she was right in filing for sexual discrimination and cultural discrimination and all that good stuff?
Let us know in the comments below. Click the like button while you're down there. Thank you so much for supporting us. And don't forget to subscribe for more Hallyu Back news. That's it. We're out of here. Hasta luego.
Bye.